Director Atkin, and Deputy City Manager, City Treasurer Cole. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended. There have been some changes specifically to the consent portion of the agenda. 25-12, approval and agreement dated January the 6th, 2025 with Colleen O'Toole. There was a memo added, an agenda item number, assigned for from a memo from the DEIA committee, and then also under consent, the Planning Commission appointments for 2025. There was a clerical error in the initial document that went out to council. It listed Estrada as the appointee, but it is really Cheryl Heft. And then we've also removed El Cole from the Planning Commission per a change in state statute that no longer allows staff members to be appointed to that body.
I have one more amendment.
Oh, please.
I apologize. I believe this came from me. 25-11 DEI committee extension should also include Mary Detmer from Saline Main Street as a member.
Okay.
Mary Detling, I'm sorry.
Mary Detling. Okay, very good. And of course, we'll consider all those items under the consent agenda when we get to that portion of the agenda. If there are no additional changes, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Dillon, seconded by Lesh. All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Is there a motion now to excuse the absence of our council colleague, Mr. Seal?
So moved.
Moved by Gearboss, seconded again by Lesh. All those in favor of excusing the absence signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, the motion carries unanimously. We come now to the first public comment period on agenda items. Under the Open Meetings Act, any person may come forward now and make comment or question on any item that appears on this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Those wishing to speak are requested but not required to state their name and address for the record. Before you begin your comments, please clearly state the specific agenda item you are addressing. Please note, council will not answer questions during the public comment period. Are there any public comments this evening? I would defer to the city clerk then. Were there any written comments provided in advance of tonight's meeting in which the individual wanted their remarks read at this time? Easy enough. Then we transition to the first of two presentations. First is my charter-sanctioned State of the City address. And copies were provided to my council colleagues. If you'd like an electronic copy, please follow up with my office either tomorrow or Wednesday. My friends and colleagues, good evening. City Council, City Manager O'Toole, City Clerk Royal, Judge Slay, distinguished guests, and my fellow Salinians. It is an honor to provide the citizens of Saline with my 13th annual State of the City address. In January 2013, at my first ever State of the City address as Saline Mayor, I expressed the belief that the path of least resistance is always downhill, that Saline's way was that of the rising road. I indicated that our city remained committed to tackling big issues, not ignoring problems or coasting through times of prosperity. It's hard to believe, but that was 12 years ago now, and my goodness, what a 12 years it has been. Saline has not been without challenges, hardships, or setbacks. No community is immune from these types of problems, but working together, we have accomplished so many great things. More challenges await, but as I expressed in January 2024, I know that progressive, forward-thinking leaders do not become demoralized or disheartened. I've said it before, I look at hard times and say this too shall pass. I've never been more optimistic or hopeful. I know that the 2025 calendar year will be one of progress and productivity. Transitioning first to economic development, and I know I've articulated this in the past, I'm keenly aware that all communities have reputations, but to be very clear, Saline will never have the ignominious distinction of being hostile to business or private sector investment. Our local businesses enrich our quality of life, offer jobs and amenities, and their tax dollars fund many of the vital government programs all of our citizens rely upon. As I shared in 2023 and 2024, business retention visits began in 2023, and our city is now very close to completing a comprehensive business database, and thus a more holistic understanding of our current enterprises and their individual needs. This will undoubtedly help with assisting our local economy and aiding in attraction efforts. Clearly, we have far too many vacant storefronts in our downtown and in other various commercial districts. Partnering with our local landlords and our Community Recruitment and Retention Team, CRRT, we will continue to work aggressively to identify entrepreneurs and desired businesses and connect them with the resources necessary to ensure their success and longevity. Additionally, our city has now established a social district in our downtown, and we're making remarkable progress on the evaluation and vetting of a community gathering space or green space in the heart of our uptown area. In fact, the city hosted a very successful town hall on this subject earlier this evening. Further, we have established a working group, and they've been meeting diligently over the past several weeks, and will issue a report and/or recommendations to City Council at our next regular meeting on July the 13th. We are long overdue on filming and producing our annual economic development video. That said, I'm pleased to report that segments will be filmed in the coming weeks, with completion expected by the end of the first quarter 2025. In the ensuing months, City Council will revisit and discuss the commercial rehabilitation proposal drafted and presented. Regional partners responded thoughtfully and expeditiously. We thank all of them for their professional and prudent response. I also want to acknowledge the participation of Metro Dispatch. Without their support and assistance, the matter may not have been resolved successfully. This particular matter underscores the importance of both mental health services and awareness, and based upon substantial community input, we also have work to do on substance abuse disorder, domestic violence, and expansion of healthcare amenities. Ergo, as discussed previously, we'll be launching a new wellness initiative in the coming months. If you have a background or expertise in any of these fields, we would love for you to assist our efforts. Please feel free to connect with my office or any of my council colleagues. Now, regarding the Saline Area Fire Department, SAFD, they have initiated some very important work in the past 12 months, including development of a capital improvement plan, financing of equipment purchases, strategic planning, and risk mitigation. These efforts must continue, and the city will, of course, provide whatever reasonable assistance support is required. As previously reported, the city recently approved an RFP to evaluate the future of fire services in Saline. This is not cause for alarm, nor does the action deviate from the established protocols of the past decade. We've conducted independent reviews, evaluations of police services, parks and recreation, the former building department, while also completing both a municipal wage and organizational review, to name just a few. The fire analysis should be completed in May, and my colleagues and I look forward to a thoughtful and fair review. I'll note, every successful organization must routinely review services and operations to identify cost savings and/or improvements in order to better meet the needs of the individuals we serve. Last, let me message on openness, communication, and operational efficiencies. As I shared in July, I'm delighted to reiterate that the City of Saline has a strong and robust strategic plan adopted in 2024 that prioritizes the issues our residents care about most. The key target areas include, number one, effective asset management; two, fostering open communication standards of proactive community outreach; three, financial stewardship or fiscal stewardship; four, organizational effectiveness; five, supporting a viable community; six, purposeful planning and smart growth; seven, employ a skilled workforce; and eight, prioritize community health, wellness, and safety. This strategic plan will be monitored, updated, and discussed periodically. A copy is available online. Feel free to review and reach out with any questions or suggestions. As always, we continue to encourage our residents to explore our city website and social media pages. And please share your thoughts and suggestions with our IT director and/or PR generalist. Also, consider signing up for our electronic newsletter, our 411 text message initiative, updates through ClearGov, and feel free to review all public documents and agendas at Documents on Demand. We hope more residents will use our online reporting tool, and if your HOA or condo association has not subscribed to our neighborhood updates, please connect with Sarah Massey directly. Let me conclude by acknowledging the years of service and the innumerable contributions made by my City Council colleagues. Mayor Pro Tem Janet Dillon and Council members Jack Seo, Dean Gearbaugh, Jen Harmont, Chuck Lesh, and Nicole Rice. Also, we have an exceptional city staff. We are indeed blessed. On behalf of the entire council, we thank each of you. Our community would not be the world-class city it is without your dedication and contributions. My friends, in conclusion, rest assured this community will continue to experience hardships and challenges, but our renewed focus on core services, investing in our infrastructure, and strengthening our local economy, while also pursuing best practices for organizational efficiency, will undoubtedly improve our quality of life. I've said it before, Saline is a very special place, and it's worth fighting for. Positive things continue to happen in our community, and as I mentioned last year, I hope to help facilitate a culture of positivity, one where Salinians focus on our strengths and attributes and on creating both positive and affirming change. Let us not be distracted by personalities or petty grievances. Let us move forward united, believing that with determination and hope, our best days are yet to come. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless Saline. Thank you for your patience there. Appreciate it. At this time, we are going to transition to the, actually, you know what, my faux pas, Judge, I should have done the swearing in first, so my apologies there. But we will transition to Her Honor Judge Slay, who has graciously taken time out of her schedule to swear in our 3 returning council members and mayor.
Hey, it is an honor to be here, so I appreciate the invitation. It's very rare that a circuit judge gets to do something happy. So I do appreciate that opportunity. I had the opportunity to meet Ms. Hess just a few minutes ago, who told me that she served city council for over 20 years. What you have endeavored to do and will continue to do during this term is appreciated by your community members, and it is truly a labor of love, albeit sometimes thankless. I appreciate you on behalf of the circuit court judges on stepping into this very serious responsibility. So we can start with Ms. Rice.
And if any of our council members have guests in the audience that they'd like to bring forward, they are welcome to do so. Cottage.
Okay. Yes. Raising your right hand, you can repeat after me. I,
Nicole Rice,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully perform duties as a member of the City of Saline Council.
that I will faithfully perform duties as a member of the City of Saline Council
Yes. In and for the City of Saline,
in and for the City of Saline,
County of Washtenaw, and State of Michigan,
County of Washtenaw, and State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. Mayor Pro Tem.
Sorry, probably would have been faster for me to go. No. We're so happy to come.
The mayor told us we need to live healthy lifestyles for us, so Extra Steps works.
Come on out, family. You can come up.
Janet, if you want to introduce your family or guests, you're welcome to do so.
The rest are coming.
Stand over there, I'll
So this is my son Cooper, my husband Matt, and my mother-in-law Ella. Thank you. Yes, my daughters are both away at school, so they can't.
get closer if they're going to take a picture.
You're
Oh, I'll get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Raise your right hand to be sworn. I
I, Janet Dillon,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
as a member of the Saline City Council
as a member of the Saline City Council
in and for the City of Saline,
in and for the City of Saline,
County of Washtenaw,
County of
and
Washtenaw,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my abilities. so help me
according to the
God.
best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby.
You did it.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Councilmember Gerba.
My brother Brian will be joining us.
Hey, nice to meet you, sir. Okay. I
I, Dean Gerbaugh,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
as a member of the City Council of Saline
as a member of the City Council of Saline,
in and for the City of Saline,
in and for the City of Saline,
County of Washtenaw,
County of Washtenaw,
and State of Michigan,
and State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Congratulations. And our fearless leader. Mayor, come on down.
Congratulations. I'm also flying solo tonight. I thought about bringing my dog, but.
Okay, please raise your right hand. I
I, Brian Morrow,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and will faithfully perform the duties as a member of the Saline City Council and Mayor,
and will faithfully perform the duties as a member of Saline City Council and as mayor
in and for the City of Saline,
in and for the City of Saline,
and County of Washtenaw,
County of
and
Washtenaw,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it. It was very gracious of Judge Slay to take time out of her busy schedule to be with us, and she thanked us for our service. I would be remiss if I didn't thank her for her continued service to the residents of Washtenaw County. I mentioned to the city manager prior to tonight's meeting, she currently serves as a judge, but before that, she was assistant city attorney for the city of Ann Arbor, and prior to that, worked many years as an assistant prosecutor for the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office. So she has put in her time, and we appreciate your contributions. You make our community a better place, so thank you for all you do. Yep. Have a wonderful evening. Again, I apologize for the mix-up taking my State of the City address prior to the swearing-in of council members. We're going to proceed with the consent agenda. The following consent agenda will normally be adopted without discussion. However, at the request of any citizen or council member, any item may be removed from the consent agenda for council discussion. And again, please note the changes that were made earlier this evening.
Move to approve.
Moved by Gearbox to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Dillon. Any discussion? There's none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved. We move on to new business item 25-09, appointment of Mayor Pro Tem for 2025. This will be a motion to approve the appointment of Council Member Janet Dillon as Mayor Pro Tem for 2025 and to appoint Council Member Seo as presiding officer in the event that both the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem are absent. Move to appoint, Mr. Lesh. Very good. And that was seconded by Mr. Gearbaugh. Thank you. I'll just make a brief comment. During the course of my tenure as mayor, individuals have generally served as mayor pro tem for either 2 or 3 years. I've been impressed by Ms. Dillon's level of service and commitment to the city of Saline. I think it's prudent that she continue, and I'm happy to offer the second presiding officer position to Mr. Seo, and I look forward to working with both of them in 2025. Is there any additional discussion or comment? Councilman Rice.
I would also like to commend Ms. Dillon for accomplishing the Michigan Municipal League Elected Officials Academy, which is pretty intensive coursework and really sets our council members and our city staff up for the best representation up here at the dais. So I appreciate that.
Any additional discussion or comments? Then we'll proceed to vote. It's been properly moved by Lesh, seconded by Gearbox to approve. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. The motion carries unanimously. We move on to new business item 25-10, ordinance number 875, an amendment to section 66-26 through section 66-46 of Article 2 in chapter 66 of the Saline Code of Ordinances. This will be a motion to acknowledge receipt of the memo from Community Development Director Aitken and to adopt or not to adopt ordinance number 875, an ordinance to amend sections 66 through 26 through sections 66 through 46 of Article 2 in Chapter 66 of the City of Saline Code of Ordinances, describing the creation of membership terms and functions of the Saline Planning Commission.
Move to acknowledge receipt.
Moved by Gearbox simply to acknowledge receipt. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Harmount. Director Aitken, do you care to make a brief obligatory comment for the public record this evening?
Yes, this was the impetus of this amendment was the reduction of members of this planning commission from 9 to 7 due to some recent resignations and having an employee on on the planning commission board, and also to bring it up to speed with the current zoning enabling act and planning enabling act, which were both amended past 6 months.
Mr. Aitken, can you confirm, with the exception of the city of Ann Arbor, I believe most governmental jurisdictions, cities and townships in Washtenaw County have 7-member planning commissions as opposed to 9?
That is correct.
Yes, very good. Mr. Gearbaugh, as the mover of the motion, were there comments or questions that you had?
Yeah, I just, Mr. Aiken, some of the things that have changed in here, are these just more a correction and realignment with what the state's proposals are now, or ordinances, or are there anything major besides this 7, moving from 9 to 7?
No, there's nothing major. It was some realignment and just updating of some language as it pertained to the enabling and zoning act.
And if we pass this tonight, will planning have any input on this, or is this basically us passing it and then?
This is just for city council. And the planning commission, this Wednesday, will have bylaws that need to be amended.
And the bylaws being amended are only for the count and such? There isn't any other changes to the bylaws for planning at this time?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
There aren't any other changes in the bylaws, which planning?
There's some more language in there, again, that is backed up by the Planning Enabling and Zoning Enabling Act, but there's nothing that has not been performed to date.
So really, this is just bringing us up to speed with everything in the last few years, changes. Thank you.
Additional questions for Director Aiken?
I'll just make a statement that this policy was brought before the policy subcommittee, and it was approved by us.
Very good. Which again, for the record, would consist of Councilmember Lesh as chair and then members Dillon and Rice. Thank you very much. Is there any additional questions or comments? And again, we have on the floor simply a motion to acknowledge receipt. Then we'll proceed with the vote. All those in favor of the motion moved by Gearbaugh, seconded by Harmount to acknowledge, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, the motion carries unanimously. Is there a motion now to adopt or not to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Moved by Lesh to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded again by Harmount. Is there any additional discussion? There is none. All those in favor of adopting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, the motion carries unanimously. We move on to the discussion portion of our agenda. First up is commission, committee, and other community updates from council members. This evening, I will start to my left and then to my right. Councilmember Harmount, do you have any updates or reports from commissions, committees, or task force?
No, I don't.
Okay. Councilmember Rice?
No updates other than to encourage the community to read the letter that was submitted in the consent agenda tonight, to look forward to potentially some community interactions regarding our strategic plan for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the coming year.
Very good. Councilmember Gearbaugh?
Just a couple updates. Just to let you know, we had new gutters installed on the Saline Depot, which will help protect it from the additional drainage. We've had issues, they had rusted out, and so those were just recently installed. We will be meeting on Wednesday with Planning Commission to also discuss the recent, council approved the rezoning of it. The property on Maple Road that was formerly a home that will be developed into a facility for maintenance and storage. And then also, I was understanding that we have a potential for the property group to review a parcel that is going to be considered for purchase out of our industrial lot.
Good. The only announcement that I have is next week, obviously we reconvene in a week's time because of the Martin Luther King holiday in 2 weeks, but I hope to have a number of these board and commission vacancies filled. We have 2 applications on deck for consideration on the 13th, but in the interim, if there are individuals in the community who are interested in serving on any of our municipal boards and commissions, we strongly encourage that. The application may be found online along with the waiver for a background check. If we can't immediately accommodate you, we keep your application on file, and when a vacancy presents itself, we will make sure to follow up with you, specifically the clerk's office. So again, this community can only be great, and we can only only move forward and tackle big issues if we have good people serving in key capacities. So if you have some available time, I hope that you'll consider an appointment. And to date, we still have vacancies on environmental, HDC, and some of our economic development commissions as well. Mayor Pro Tem Dillon, do you have any reports, announcements, or updates from boards or commissions?
Just a couple quick things. Most of my traditional boards were on hiatus for the holidays. There were some committees that were still meeting. The policy committee continues to meet. Mr. Aiken is keeping us quite busy with some ordinance reviews. And so look forward to seeing more of those coming through at future council meetings, as well as the Downtown Green Space Committee is continuing to meet. We had a town hall earlier tonight. There will be more community engagement and information coming soon. So we'll get that information out as soon as it's ready.
Very good. Councilmember Lesh, any reports, announcements, or updates from boards or commissions?
Just one thing to keep on people's calendars. On Sunday, January 26th, the Saline Lindenberg Group will be having our annual meeting here in council chambers, and we're encouraging anybody who has an interest in joining that group to come to that meeting.
And the Brecken Friendship Guild is also meeting that afternoon. Is that correct?
Right after that.
Right after that. Yes, let me underscore that. If there are people interested in getting involved in either group, we strongly encourage attendance and participation, noting in particular that our sister city committee with Lindenberg, Germany, will be hosting a delegation of between 20 and 30 guests immediately after Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken, for a 2-week visit to Saline and then a side excursion to Hawking Hills. So we always invite and encourage more people to participate, and if you're interested in getting involved in that group, we would be delighted to have you. If there are no additional reports or announcements, let me transition then to Community Development Director Aitken to give us an update on the Code Enforcement Officer position.
Yes, we are making this going from a part-time to a full-time position. We will be looking for an individual that has background knowledge in code enforcement, but also in some of the building trades. The draft job description is near completion and should be posting that sometime this week. The last individual we had in this position came up short a little bit and resigned, I believe, probably about 6 weeks ago. And it was right before Thanksgiving, so with the holidays coming up, we just pushed it back due to everybody's limited schedule. So we're hoping to have that filled beginning of February, I would anticipate at the earliest.
Very good. Are there questions for Director Aitken regarding the code enforcement position? Mayor Pro Tem Dillon?
Thank you. Thank you very much for considering making this a full-time position. I think that's something that I know I have been advocating for quite some time. It's very difficult with part-time to sort of find those right shifts. I do hope that a part of the requirements of this job are working weekends, so having a floating schedule, not just a Monday through Friday. I think there's a lot of things that happen in the community on the weekends. I guess in the meantime, when we see blatant code violations, what should the community members do? Who should they contact?
Contact me and I'll send out, right now we have a rental inspector that is willing to look into some of these issues, or most of the issues as they come up. So that's what I'm doing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Any additional questions or comments for Director Aitken? Chris, thank you very much. We look forward to an update, and hopefully you'll be able to secure a outstanding individual for the position in the very near future. If there are no additional items to be discussed under the discussion portion of tonight's agenda, we come now to the second public comment period. Under the Open Meetings Act, any person may come forward at this time, make comment or question to City Council. This public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes per person, and those wishing to speak are requested, but of course not required, to state their name and address for the record. Please note, City Council will not answer questions during this public comment period. Please.
Mary Hess, Canterbury Drive. And I noticed that in our agendas, for years and years, when the public had a comment on an issue or an item on the agenda, they were commented in the record as far as a resident got up and talked about a certain thing. And I think it's important if they're willing to come up and that they should be addressed. I've mentioned this a couple times publicly, but I would like to have the council address again the public speaking portion of residents speaking on an item, and they might come up with a good idea too, or a comment, a good comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hess. Are there any additional citizen comments? Let me defer to the city clerk. Were there any written comments provided in advance of tonight's meeting in which the individual wanted their remarks read at this time?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Then we appreciate everyone's attendance this evening. We will be meeting again in a week's time on January the 13th here at 7 p.m. And if there's nothing further to be brought before Saline City Council this evening, the chair would be delighted to entertain a motion to adjourn this regular meeting at 7:37 p.m. Moved by Dillon, and was that a second by Rice? Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Have a good day, Mayor.
You as well. Have a great night.